Arkansas added 294 positive COVID cases today. The state now has a total of just more than 66,000 confirmed PCR cases. Another 139 antigen tests also given in the last 24 hours. 20 of those were positive. Active cases dropped to 5,844, and 9 more people have died for a total of 917 deaths. 10 more people have been hospitalized. That total is now at 409. 503 more people have recovered for a total of 59,260 in Arkansas.